here's the agenda of today's session. We'll be seeing what is client script, when to use client script, where to use. We'll be seeing the components of client script IDE. I'll explain you the various events that we have for different pages supported by client script. Then we'll try to create a very basic client script, and then we'll be seeing few use cases along with the code and the demo. Now, before knowing what is client script, let me introduce a few scenarios to you and check with you if you can relate with them in your day-to-day activities. Let us take the case of a field named quantity of products, as you can see on the screen. Assume that the business requirement is that this quantity of products should have minimum value of 100. That is, whenever the user enters a value less than 100, we should tell the user that, hey, you cannot enter a value less than 100, or the minimum expected value is 100. So such errors will help the user to enter appropriate values when he's trying to fill a particular form. Let me take another business case where the user enters the date of birth in a particular field. Based on the date of birth entered by the user, don't you think it would be great if the age gets auto-populated? In addition, you set an age criteria, that is, the age cannot be more than 80 for a policy holder, and the user gets notified that the age cannot be more than 80. It gives a very good user experience, and often we get requirements to accomplish such things. So every user, any user who's trying to fill a form would like to have proactive auto-population and alerts and error messages whenever the user is trying to fill records forms, whenever he's trying to click buttons. Not only these two scenarios, often there are circumstances where you will have to customize your Zoho CRM UI based on your business needs. Now, how can you achieve these solutions in Zoho CRM? As a solution comes client script feature of Zoho CRM. So what is client script? Client script is a feature which executes the saved JavaScript code whenever the configured event occurs on the configured page. So based on what we say, we will have to write the code in JavaScript. We'll have to define when that particular code should be triggered and where that particular action should happen. That is the page where it should happen. So events are basically user actions that happens on the UI. When I say JavaScript code, you can code in JavaScript. Along with that, you can use the ZDKs from the ZDK library provided by the client script. We'll see about the ZDK library shortly. On the screen, you can see how to create a client script. So you'll have to go to Settings, Client Script, click New Script, and then fill the details like page, module, layout, event, and event type. Okay, before using client script, there are two things that you should have in mind. One is that the client script feature will be available only in the enterprise and ultimate editions of Zoho CRM. That is one thing. The other is the developer permissions of the profile using which you are trying to access client script should be enabled. By default for admin profile, this will be enabled. Let me show it to you. Go to Setup under Users and Control. Click Security Control. Select the profile using which you're trying to access client script. Go to Developer Permissions. Here it is already enabled, but if at all it is not enabled, you will have to enable. So ensure that your edition is appropriate and the developer permission is enabled before you try to access client script. Now that we saw what client script is, now see where you can use client script. Here is the list of pages for which client script provides support in Zoho CRM. Initially, we had support for create, edit, clone pages. Detail page canvas as well was supported earlier. Recently, we have started supporting wizards, list page, and detail page. There are predefined events for each of these pages. Based on your requirement, you can choose the page and the events before you type your script in the client script IDE. So in the screenshot, you can see that all these pages displayed. Depending upon your requirement, you can select the page and configure this client script. Moving on to the next slide. When to use client script. These are just samples. There are many use cases which can be accomplished using client script. I'm just sharing some typical examples. First is data validation. Say you want to validate a value entered by the user in a particular field. That is possible using client script. Data auto population. Let's say you have a checkbox. Maybe is the shipping address same as billing address? And every time when the user marks this checkbox true, the shipping address should be copied to the billing address. This use case can be achieved using client script. Similar auto population is possible using client script. And if you want to populate the value of a field based on two other fields and you have to perform any calculation, that is also possible using client script. Data auto correction. For example, if you want the user to enter a date only in the expected format, irrespective of the format entered by the user, you can maintain the required format. That is possible using client script. You can automate several things using client script. Like on the click of a button, if you want a mail to be triggered to a particular set of people based on particular conditions, that is also possible using client script. Also, integration with third party can be done using client script. As Adil just confirmed, from a third party, you can receive a response and then use it in the UI. When it comes to the case of PDF and other things, that such things can be displayed using widgets. That is a very recent addition to client script where you can display widgets, pop-ups in client script. This is an introduction class to client script. So we will be bringing up use cases which are, basic levels. Going forward in our further sessions, we'll be covering those cases as well. We'll look into the components of IDE. Client script IDE provides you a seamless experience during your development process as it consists of multiple components bundled together. As you can see on screen, we have an editor, a review option, revisions, run, settings, the information section, static resource section. Let us now see the individual components, its uses when you develop the code. So what you see right now is the editor. By default, the editor will be active. You can type the script here in the editor. While you type the script, you can see auto suggestions being appearing here, ZDK. You can see the auto suggestions in the editor. And also you can note that the code's syntax will be highlighted. On the right side of the editor, we have the information section, page details and event details of the client script. Details like for which module this client script is going to run, in which page, what is the event that is going to trigger this particular client script. All these details are available here. Below is the library section. This is the most important section. Here we have a couple of documentations. So the script that you are going to develop here is going to be totally dependent on the ZDKs. ZDK is a Zoho development kits developed by us in order to accomplish the client and web interactions. See here you can see two documentations. This is for client interactions. The other enables you to internally call the CRM APIs. There are situations when you will have to fetch data from the CRM and then evaluate a condition and then take decisions. For example, if you want to hide a phone number for a particular profile, say salesman, the salesman profile people alone must not be able to see the phone number. If you want to achieve such use case, you can uh, you can fetch the profile of the current user by fetching the profile details using these CRM API SDKs, and then you can you can hide the phone number of such people using the client ZDKs. Each and every ZDK will be explained in detail in these documentations with parameter details, samples, output. So depending on your requirement, you can pick the ZDK and then code. Okay. So based on the event selected, you can see the argument ID being passed to the script. Here, the event type is field event, the field is age, the event is on change. So for every event, there will be an argument being passed to this script. You can make use of this argument straight away in your script. For instance, here, the value will have the value of the age entered by the user. Okay, let me execute this code and show you. If you want to execute the script, you need not go back to the CRM. You can execute and see how it works in the run component. Say I enter an age 81. You can see the message getting popped up. So how did this 81 get captured here? This happened because value had the information that you typed in the field age. So depending on the event, different arguments will be passed to the function. For this case, for field event, the argument is value, and so I have used value straight away here. Okay, so moving on to the next component, review. Using review, you can compare your latest code changes with the previous version of code. This acts like a diff checker, so you need not go outside CRM and then compare your code changes. You can do it here. This is revisions. Client script allows you to save multiple versions of the code along with the commit message. I'll show you where the commit message should be entered. When you type your script, you can save it by typing a commit message here in the section and then save it. So every time you save it, it will be saved as a separate version here. So whenever you want to activate a particular version of code, you can always select that code and then use this revision. This is about the revision component. Using run component, you can see how the client script works. Additionally, one more thing, there are two things, messages and the terminal at the bottom of the run component. When the user enters the value, you can see the message being popped up. At the same time, in the messages, you can see the event details, the status of the event, the status of the script, and then the name of the script. Here I had two client scripts active, and that is why you can see this page event, but that is not relevant to the example that we have considered. So whenever this particular script runs, you will see field event age on change, success. This is the time of execution of the script. This is the name of the script. Okay. And if you have any suggestions or feedbacks that you need to share about client script, you can click on this icon here and share your suggestions with us. ClientScript IDE also has an error panel which pops whenever you save the code with errors. Yeah, I'm trying to save some incomplete code. You can see the error being popped up. So this is all about client script IDE. Client script IDE also provides few formatting options. Here you can change the theme, cursor format, font, font size, font weight, all that you can increase depending based on your comfort level. The word spacing, that is all about client script IDE. Let's get back to our slide. Next is client script events. So before you create a client script, you must know when your client script should run. You know what occurrence in the UI should trigger your script. The event is any user action that happens on the CRM client. The click of a button or when you update a value to a particular field, an event occurs. So whenever an event occurs, the corresponding script will be executed. On to the next slide. Based on the page, client script has predefined events which you can configure using your scripts. The create, clone, and edit page events. I will explain each and every event present here. Understanding the events plays a crucial role in client script because only the event decides when your script is going to run. First is the page event. The onload type of page event will trigger your script. The page loads. The onChange page event will trigger your script when any of the fields present in that page is being updated by the user. The onSave page event will trigger your script when the user clicks on the save button. Okay. Next is field event. The onChange field event will trigger your script whenever the user updates the configured field, not any of the fields, a particular field, whenever the user is trying to update, then this event will trigger the code. There is another recent addition to the list, which is onType. Unlike onChange, onType will trigger the script as the user types value on the a particular field. But onChange will trigger the script only when the user moves to the next field after updating a value to a particular field. That is the difference between onChange and onType. Just list page events. In list page, we have two events. One is on load of the view, that is whenever a particular list view gets loaded, on before custom view change, which is before any change, before you make any change to that list view. The event will be triggered. The event will occur and the client script will be triggered. For detail page standard and canvas, we have a set of common events. This is the list. Apart from that, detail page canvas has other events also, which we'll see soon. Page event onload of detail page will trigger the script whenever the detail page gets loaded. Field event on before update. This will trigger your script before updating the value entered of the to the configured fields in the detail page. Next is the mandatory fields form event. Mandatory fields form is the form that gets popped up whenever the layout rules are met. When you have a layout rule that few fields are mandatory, at that time you can see a pop-up which asks you to enter the mandatory fields. So on before mandatory form save will trigger your script before the mandatory form gets saved. On mandatory form load will trigger the script whenever that form gets loaded on screen. Most of the event can be understood with just the names, but then there are small differences which needs clarity. Blueprint, we have an event which is before transition. So this will trigger the script before transition occurs in a blueprint. This is a tag event. This event will trigger your script whenever the tag is changed for a particular record. Okay. Next, we will see the additional events for the Canvas page. So whenever a canvas button, icon, or text is clicked, each of these are considered as separate events, and you can create scripts. These events will trigger those scripts. Next, we'll see about the support for wizards. So in Create Page Wizard and in Edit Page Wizard, client script can be used. The onload type of wizard event will trigger your script whenever a particular wizard loads. The onChange event of wizard will trigger your code whenever any of the fields in the wizard is being updated by the user. If you take the case of on before save, it will trigger your script before the save action happens, that is, just before records are committed to CRM. This is on transition. On transition wizard event will trigger your script whenever the wizard screen is being navigated from one to the other. On before transition will trigger your script before the transition is made, not during. It is before, it happens before. Next is the field event on change. This event will get triggered when the configured field is being updated by the user. These are the events available for various pages in Zoho CRM. Now that we know what a client script is, we know what client script ID is, what are the components inside it, we know where the ZDKs are sitting, and then we know the various events. So let us try and create our first client script. Here the requirement is display save message box whenever a request is saved. Before even starting with creating a client script, you should know these four things. You should be very clear about these four things. One is the module. Here, for this requirement, the module name is request. Request is a custom module that I have in the org. This is a layout. So client script is specific to each and every layout. If you want the same script to run for all the layouts of a particular module, then you should create the same number of client script for each layout of the module. Okay, so you have to specify the layout and then page. Select which page you want, and then you have to specify the event. Here in this case, I want the save message box to be displayed when the user clicks on the save button. So I should select the event as on save page event. Let me show this in Zoho CRM. So I need to click on settings, then client script, new script, display language, on click of save. Okay, then page, module is request, as I told you earlier. Layout is standard, and then here the type is page on save, because we want the script to run when the user clicks on the save button. Now we need the a message box to be displayed. So I'm clicking on the ZDKs which has the client APIs, and then I want it as an information. So I'm selecting show message ZDK. I'm just copying this sample given. And then changing the text to suit my need. The request has been submitted successfully. I'll save the code. Now I will see how the script works using the run option here. I'll enter values. And then when I click on the save button, the event occurs. The save on save event had occurred, and so the script has executed, and then this message is being displayed onto the screen. You can see the details here. Page event on save running. Here I had two scripts active, and that is why there is another box. At any point of time, if you want to disable a particular script, you can do it by putting this toggle button off. Now we'll be seeing a few use cases, seeing some hands-on use cases along with the requirement, the code, and the event details. Over to you, Ashika. Ashika will be explaining us.
Madhuri has explained you about our ZDK client API and web API that you can see inside the library section inside the editor. So we have some useful ZDK methods in that particular documentation. I have given some very useful ZDK methods here, and this is just a glimpse of what we have there. So first of all, if you can also read and write data in the fields using get value and set value, and also it is possible to show alert, warning, error, info messages, and also it's possible to show confirmation message box as well. With markdown support we have provided this, and also it's possible to open pop-up, call out, fly out, and it's possible to render widget with the help of this three support. And it's possible to mask fields in list page and detail page like you wish. If you want to mask some confidential data from a particular profile person's means, you can just do that with the help of this mask method. And field locking is possible with the help of set read only method, and you can hide or show fields with the help of set visibility method. And also it's possible to make the field mandatory with the help of set mandatory method. So likewise you can use the methods available in that client API and web API docs, and you can just achieve that use case. Okay, now let me take you through some use cases, very useful and interesting use cases, and it's going to be simple as of now. So now let me give you the brief about what we can do with client script, what are the basic function we can achieve with client script by showing some demonstration from our side. First, data validation. Yes, it's possible with client script. So in the case, let me explain you the case first. Phone number duplication check. Just consider you are in a leads module and you have a field called phone number and another field called mobile number. So if user enters the same number in both phone field as well as mobile field, you want to show an error message. This is the case. So you have to just first of all decide what event you have to use, and you have to just select the event first, and after that you will be just choosing the event and you will be creating the script for that. Okay, so for this I'm going to choose page on save event because I want to check this condition only when I click on the save button. So let me show you now how it is working. Okay, so here you can see I have created the script already, and I have chosen leads module, and I have created the script in create page, and I have chosen the event page on save. Means it will run in the script will get executed only when I click on the save button. Let me show you how it is working. Okay, so here you have a phone field and mobile field. I'm just going to enter some random number here, and I'm just going to enter the same random number here in mobile field as well. Yes. So if both phone field and mobile field matches, it needs to show an error message for the mobile field. That's our requirement now. So I'm just filling the mandatory fields as well with some random values now, and I'm clicking save. Yes, it is throwing the error message. So mobile number should be different from phone number. So only when I save the only when I change the mobile field, it will just save the record. Otherwise, it won't save the record. So we can just prevent the save action by using this return false. I'll be explaining you the code. Before that, I'll just show you how it is working if it doesn't match. I'm clicking on save. Yes, the record got saved. So let's check how to perform this validation. So first of all, I'm just creating a variable phone, and in that phone I'm just saving the value from the phone field by using this get value method. And after that, I'm creating a mobile variable, and I'm just saving the value from the mobile field now. And now I'm comparing both the mobile and phone, whether they are matching or not. I'm just comparing them. And now I want to show error message for the mobile field. So if you want to show error message for phone field, means you can just use the API name of phone field here, and you can use the show error method to use the inline error message for that particular field. So mobile number should be different from phone number. Here is the custom message where what you have to enter, you just enter as you wish. Based on your particular condition, you can just enter your custom error message here. And if you would like to prevent the record from getting saved, you have to use the return false to prevent the save action. And also just imagine you want to you don't want the record to get saved, means you can use return false. And if you want the record to get saved after checking a condition, you can use return true, so that it will simply save the record. So this is how you will be performing data validation. We can go to the next case, data auto population. So we can perform data auto population with script. So now I'll explain you the case. First of all, you are in orders module and you have field called contact name, and it's a lookup field from contacts module. So once you select the contact name, you'll get a confirmation box asking whether you want that particular contact's address to be copied and filled in for the shipping address fields as well. If you see yes, copy, the address will be copied. If you say no, then address won't be copied. So this is my use case, and we are just going to create a script for the same. And first of all, we have to confirm what event we have to choose. So for this particular case, I can select the event field on change, because whenever I'm changing the field contact name only, I want the script to get triggered and executed. So for that, I'm going to choose field on change event, and the field is going to be contact name. Let me take you to the script now. Yes. So I have created a script in orders module, create page, and the event is field event on change in the field of contact name. I have chosen. Let's see how it is working first of all. Okay, so first of all, we have contact name field here, and we have to, this is actually a lookup field from contacts module. Now I'm just going to select some contact name from here. I have some sample records. So once I select it, I'll get the confirmation box. Do you want to copy the address of contact to shipping address? So if I select yes copy, it will copy the address from contact to shipping address fields here that we have. If you say no, it won't copy actually. So I'm clicking yes copy now. Yes, you can see the records got auto populated from contacts module to orders module. Now let's see if I click no, what happens. Now I am selecting a random contact, and the confirmation box is here. And if I click no, yes, the records are not getting copied over here. Okay, now let's see how this code is, how we code it. And yes, first of all, I'm creating a variable called response, and this response will be having either true or false based on the button we are clicking whenever we get this confirmation box. So we have two messages here. One is accept message, that is yes copy, and one is reject message, that is no. If I click yes copy, the value will be the response will be having true in it, and if I click no, the response will be having false in it. So yes, and also here you will be just asking the question, custom question that you like to ask. And also we support markdown here, so you can use this asterisk for making this particular word bold, and you can underline it, you can make it italics, something like that. We have some markdown supports as well. You can refer the zdk doc and try it out as well. And I am here logging the value. Here the value contains the value of this contact name because I have selected the field event. So if you select any field event, this value will be passed, and that particular value will contain the field value that we are creating here. So as it is a lookup field, it will be having two values. Let me show you that. In the message panel, you can see that if you log something in the message panel, you can see that. So here you can see ID and name. So this is the value that you get from a lookup field. So if you pass the value, you'll be getting the ID and name of that particular field you are selecting. That is only for lookup field. For the other fields, you'll be getting only the value. So here value will be returning both ID and name. You want ID to fetch the record from contact, and you have to map it here with the current orders fields. So for fetching the record, I'm just initially checking the condition. If my response is true only, then I want to fetch the record from contacts module. So for that, I'm just using my CRM API contacts fetch by ID, and I'm just passing value.id. Value.id will be passing the ID of the record that is returned here. So once we select the contact name, we are getting some ID, right? That ID will be passed over there when I use this value.id. So it will be going to the contacts module, then it will be getting the particular records information. Now we are just going to map that particular records information with the current records information. So I'm using, if you want to perform multi-field mapping means you can use get form and set values. If you want to perform only single field means you can simply use get field. So here I want to just set values for multiple fields. So I'm using get form here, and contact.mailing street, I just wanted to map it with shipping street. Likewise, I'm mapping mailing city with shipping city. Same like that for state and zip code and country. So once I map it, that details will get auto populated over there. Likewise, you can map any fields that you like. If you wanted to map email, phone number, yes, that is also possible. According to your condition, you can do anything as you like. And also it is possible to perform third party API calls and auto populate data from some third party service as well. So that is also possible. We have some use cases in our help documentation. You can go through that. And yes, if possible, if you have any queries based on that, you can get back to us and we will just clarify your queries. And any suggestions, feel free to share it in the feedback section that you are having in the IDE. We have contextual lookup filter support in client script. Let's see how to do that now. So first of all, let me explain you the case. Filtering the product based on the product category selected. So just consider you are in orders module. There is field called product category. Once the user selects the product category, the product name should be filtered based on the category selected and it should be shown. So that's what our case is. So it will be a contextual lookup filter. Let's see how to perform it. Let me go to the step page. Yes. So for this, I need to select the field event on change, because whenever I'm changing product category alone, I want the script to get executed. So for that, I'm just choosing field event on change. Only whenever I change it, the script will get triggered and executed. So then let me show you how it's working. We have product category field and product name field in the product list subform, and it's a lookup field from products module. So now whenever I don't have any values in product category, it will be listing me all the products that I have currently in different categories. So in 3 different categories, we have different products and we are displaying everything whenever I didn't select any product category. So now I'm just going to select some category, and now you can see only some products are listed because it will be filtered according to the product category selected. So it is just listing down the products under the product category surgical instruments. Likewise, you can select some other category, and yes, that particular category product name will be displayed over here. Okay, now let's see how to perform it with our code. First of all, the value will be having the product category value, what I'm selecting. So once I select it, you can see that in the message panel. So I'm selecting the product category value, and you can see that in the message panel. If you log the particular value, you can see that for some testing purpose. And then now I'm creating a variable called product, and I'm just getting the subform product list, and from that I'm getting the product name field, and I'm just storing it here in the product variable. Now I'm just creating a criteria. So here you should mention the criteria of what you require. So here I'm just giving product category should be equal to the value. The value contains the value I'm selecting in the product category, that is in orders module. And this product category represents the category from products module. So this is from orders and this is from product. So we are just comparing the category from orders and products module, and if both are equal, if both are matching, we'll be just applying the filter. If you pass true, it will be filtered, and if you pass false, it won't be filtered. So this is how you need to apply filter based on the contextual value that you're giving. Okay, let's see how to perform different action in detail page. First of all, let's see how to perform field locking with the help of client script in detail page. So log the phone number field to prevent it from getting edited once created. So like once you create the record, you can just enter the phone number, and once after creation, you can't edit it in the detail page. So this is what our requirement is. Let's see how to do that. I have to create a script in detail page, and I have created the script in detail page. Page on load is the event I have selected, and I'll just show you how to perform it. So I'm creating a phone field, like phone variable, and I'm just putting the phone field inside it, and I'm just using the set read only method to make it like I'm just locking it with the help of set read only method. Let me reload it. So now you can see you can't edit this particular phone field, but you can edit the other fields. So once you use set read only, you can prevent it from editing. So this is how you need to perform field locking with client script. And our next case is mask the first 10 digits of phone number. Let's see how to mask the first 10 digits of phone number. I'm just doing the same thing here. Phone, I'm just masking it with the help of mask of method, and I'm using a character. You can use any character that you like to use. With this particular hash, I just mask that particular field, and the length I'm mentioning is 10 because I have mentioned that's 10 here, and you can mention as you like. And reverse true. So if you are mentioning reverse true here, it will be masked from backwards. And if you wanted to mask it from first, you can use false here so that it will be masked from the first digit. Let me reload once. Just a second. Now you can see the first 10 digit of the phone number got masked now. So you can just make it like a profile permission, something like if the admin, other than admin profile, doesn't need to see the phone number means, you can just mention that condition over here, and you can mask the phone number field for that particular profiles, and you can make the phone number field visible for other profiles, something like that you can perform. So we are just explaining you how to use these methods now, and you can use it as you wish by performing lot of like, you can just add criterias as you wish and you can make use of it. And next, let's see how to hide the field. So if you don't want to show the field for a particular condition, means you can just do that with set visibility. If you pass false here, it will be just hiding the field, and if you pass true here, it will just show the field. So let's see. So now you can hide the field with the help of set visibility and passing false to it. Next, you can also enable or disable button with the help of get button field and get button method and disable method of ZDK. Yes, I'm creating a variable clone and I want the clone button to be disabled. For that, I'm just getting the button clone and I'm just using disable method to disable that particular button. So likewise, you can pass the names of different buttons here and you can just disable it like you wish. So let me reload. Yes, it got disabled. So likewise, you can disable the buttons that you don't wanted there. Yes, you can do that. Based on profile also, you can just disable the buttons. So as you wish, you can just make use of this method. So yes, these are all the possible and useful action that you can perform in detail page. Anybody have any doubts on this actions in detail page? Okay, let's see how to perform some operations in list page of client script. So let me explain you how to highlight list page based on some conditions and also how to mask the confidential data in the list page. Let's see how to perform that. My first case is to highlight the row based on the value lead status in leads module. So I'm just going to highlight the rows based on some conditions here. Let me show you that. So if my lead status is pre-qualified, the background color and text color needs to be in green. That's my first thing. Then if the lead status is lost lead or junk lead, the text color needs to be in red. And if the lead status is attempted to contact, then text color should be in orange. So this is my conditions. Let me show you how to do it. Okay, then. So I have to create the script in page event on custom view load, because whenever the view gets loaded, I want the script to get executed in the list page of leads. Now I'll show you how it's visible here in the list page. Yes, you can see the rows are highlighted in green and the lead status is highlighted here. Based on the lead status, we are just giving colors. So for the pre-qualified, I'm just giving some greenish shade, and a lost lead, it's in red. And also for attempted to contact status, I'm just putting it in orange, so that you can easily identify in the list view itself and make use of this feature to easy identification purpose, so that you can track the status of each and every record easily. If you have some color identification, that will be useful for that. So let me show you how to perform it with our code. So I'm just using get list of method, and I'm just adding a style method here for adding the style for particular condition. My condition is going to be lead status equals pre-qualified. If it is pre-qualified, I want two things. One is my record background color should be in greenish shade. I'm just doing that here. And my field lead status should be having some background of the same greenish shade. And I have the text color should be in dark green shade. So for that, I'm using foreground color, and my text color will be changed to some dark green shade, and I'm making the font as bold here. So likewise, you can make the font bold so that it will be highlighted and you can easily catch it up. And for the other condition, lead status, if my lead status is either lost lead or if it is junk lead, I wanted to show it in bold red shade. And yeah, for the field only I'm just doing here. So if you want to add some background colors means, yes, you can do that with record background color. By adding different shades, you can perform it. And for the other condition, lead status equals attempted to contact. I'm just showing it in some orange shade and in bold. And lead status is going to be having that particular orange shade. So, and also my another thing is, I just wanted to just mask the first 10 digits of phone number. So yes, you can do that in list page as well, like you do in detail page. So I'm using the get list of mask field method. So with that get list of mask field method, I can perform this masking in list page as well. So I'm getting a phone field and I'm just giving the length here. So you can mention your own length, and also the character you can just give your wish as you wish. You can just enter the character like you want. And I'm just using reverse false. Let me show you if it is true what is happening. Okay, yes, if I'm mentioning it as true, it will be masked from backwards, and if I'm mentioning it as false, it will be masked from first character. So that is how you will be using masking in detail page and sorry, list page. So anybody have any doubts in this particular use case?
Hi everyone. I like to share a few things about static resources and trusted domains, which is can be coupled with client script. So, okay, let us see what is a trusted domain first. So, trusted domain can be found under users and control, and we are using trusted domain to whitelist a set of APIs, or in which APIs can be hit using client script. So for the demo, I'm using JSON placeholder.typeecho.com, which is a JSON provider. It can be anyone can use it, and just returns a JSON response like this. And this API is readily being provided by JSON placeholder.com itself. So what does this have is it gives a list of users that has a name, username, address, email, and so. And we are going to hit this API and get these responses, and and we are going to use this to populate a leads data. So first we have to register this trusted domain. Then only we can hit these APIs inside client script. Else we will throw an error that the APIs outside the Zoho CRM cannot be accessed using client script like that. And for the demo, this is code. First, we are using a fetch call to that previously seen API, and we are using that response to construct this lead data. So what all the data we are getting is a name, phone, website, and company. So let's take an email from this API response. I'll check in this sincere@april.biz. I'm going to feed it into this email field, and this is getting triggered on change of this field. So when I click it outside, we are hitting the response, and we are hitting the API and populating these fields based on the response. So this is how we can hit some external API and use it inside the client script. And regarding static resources, as we have previously seen during that IDE walkthrough, static resources can be found here. So here we have some static resource like a more generic case like tool title case. So what it does is it converts a given string to title case, in which many languages might have it, but just to show an example of it, I'm using that. So let's first view the contents of that static resource first. Okay. Static resources can be found inside this client script page itself, right above near to this tab. And for our to title case static resource, to title case is nothing but JS file, and the contents of this JS file is this. Just using some string replace to change it into title case. So how are we going to use this is we can directly call that method declared in that file. That is here we have this method named to title case regex and to title case, for which we'll pass a string to it. So those methods can be directly used inside this client script once we have added it. Here to add a static resource, we have these buttons to add and remove it. I have already added this to title case, and heading over to the run preview, and terminal itself we can try that. I'm giving some sample strings without any capital letters like that, and it's being converted into title case. So the suggestions for static resources can also be found here also. Like those methods defining the static resources will pop up into the suggestions. We can use static resources to bundle up most commonly used methods across all layouts, modules, and so. And once we have added that, we can use it within the client script. And we can also use some other external libraries for which we can add the source code into the static resources and then use the same inside the client script.